St. Thomas Falcons and the McCall Dragons. I'm Jeff Davis along with Marty Morgan. And Marty, we got a little bit of a sloppy track tonight.
Well, yeah, Jeff, and we've been wondering who it'll affect the most. I guess we'll find out in about 5 minutes. Of course, St. Thomas entertains a McCall team, also 10-1. They're led by Jeremy O'Neal, a 2,000-yard rusher. But the most interesting thing is that McCall runs the Notre Dame box. Very hard to prepare for. You don't often see it. What it consists of are 3 men in the backfield in a, so to speak, shotgun formation, and you don't know who they're going to snap the ball to. They're big up front. They like to grind it out. Occasionally they'll pass, but the Falcons have their hand full tonight. And on the Falcon side, what needs to happen?
Well, you got to give the ball to number 2 and let Byron Robinson do his thing. But I tell you, this Falcon team is well coached. Coach Randy Johnson is heralded as one of the best coaches around. Defensively, he's got a great mind over there in John LaGoria. So I believe it's going to come down to who turns over the ball the least amount of times, Marty.
Well, no question, and tonight, Jeff, you would figure that's going to happen a lot. So it's who can hold on to the ball, and how bad does this wet track affect Robertson's cutting?
Well, we'll see that in just a few minutes. Now, the announcer said, and I missed it, that McCall won the toss and elected to kick off. And if that's the case, that's very unusual. Maybe the weather has something to play in that decision.
Yeah. And reading up on McCall, they have a turnover margin of like plus 40, something astronomical. So they must be adept of stripping the ball or something and feel like they can do something.
Byron Robinson takes the ball at the 20, has a seam, and he's at the 50, he's at the 40. He's going to take this one all the way back. And what a way to start. You asked if he could cut. He took it straight up the middle as that return blocking scheme worked perfectly for him, and the Falcons jump up 6-0 just like that.
And what a way to start the game right there. And you see the explosiveness of Mr. Robertson, and hey, you playing with fire every time you kick the ball to him, as most teams have kicked it out of bounds. But what a start for the Falcons. As the opening kickoff, Jeff, they go up 6-0 with the all-important PAT. So McKee on the attempt the PAT.
Snaps down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. So with 11 minutes and 49 seconds remaining in the first quarter, Falcons 7, McCall 0, and it took exactly 11 seconds, Marty, off the clock for the Falcons to score 6.
And we hadn't even had a chance to catch our breath. We'll hear from a couple of our sponsors. Tonight's game brought to you by Payless Furniture and Appliances. Go by and see the Brooks family at Payless Furniture. Fine folks at Payless Furniture. All kind of sales going on right now for Christmas and so forth. That's Payless Furniture, located across from Bill Hood Ford on Morrison. Also, tonight's game being brought to you by Dr. Drew and Connie Doucette. We'd like to thank our sponsors. So now, Jeff, the Falcons will kick off, and just a good way to start a game.
Oh, no doubt about it. Spot your 6 real quick, 7 with the extra point. Now, we're going to see this McCall offense and see what they've got and what the St. Thomas Falcons defense can do to this really razzle-dazzle offense we're fixing to see. Kicking off will be number 20, Jamie Planels. Pretty much a squib kick. It's going to come down to about the 15-yard line. And the Falcons got good coverage down there and knocked out of bounds by Dustin Reed at about the 30-yard line.
So we'll set the Falcon defense. We'll see what they try to employ. I wouldn't think it'd be their traditional 5-2. Probably something a little different. Of course, they're led by Dustin Reed and Brent Barrios, the 2 linebackers, and defensive end William Marshall and Butch Roussel. Ben Roussel. So we're going to see what the Falcons try to employ defensively.
As we mentioned, Marty, it's going to be a very unusual offense as quarterback in the shotgun, and it snaps it to the fullback straight ahead. Looks like he's going to gain about 4 or 5 on the carry.
And Jeff, he was like in a crouch position, much like a catcher, and really didn't fool anybody, but it's such an unusual look. It's just weird. Something they have to get used to as the game goes on.
Well, make no doubt about it, about the size of McCall's offensive line, just to mention a few of the guys, 235, 245, 285, 260. So they're going to be big across that offensive line.
And then 28, Jeremy O'Neal, 2,000-yard rusher. He's got to have something.
Snapped again to O'Neal. O'Neal trying to turn the corner. He's going to pick up the first down as he goes out of bounds at about the 48-yard line.
And right early on, Jeff, you can see that O'Neal is a strong runner, about 5'9", 185, but powerfully built, and he just keeps those legs churning.
Well, Marty, I asked you before the game who was the quarterback, and you pretty much told me it didn't matter because they not necessarily were they going to snap the ball to him, and they haven't snapped it to him yet.
No, they hadn't, but if there is such a guy that would be the quarterback, we think it's going to be, I can't see their numbers, Dave Williams, number 14.
That time snap to Williams, he hands off, and a nice tackle by Dustin Reed as Jeremy O'Neal is going to lose about a yard on the carry.
And you'll see a lot of that, Jeff. Dustin Reed, not a very big guy, but a big heart. He can flat out run, and he will lay the wood to you.
Let's call that 2nd down and 10. Ball spotted at about the 45-yard line, the McCall 45. And Marty, as we mentioned, the field very wet, especially in the middle. And as this game goes on, the more playing, the muddier it's going to get.
No question about it.
Dave Williams is your quarterback under center this time, and he's dropping back to pass. And that's knocked down by number 82, William Marshall. And you had a little comment about him earlier also, Marty.
Yeah, Jeff, he's only a junior, and he stands about 6'4", about 230. I told you that I would think he's going to be a college prospect next year, being only a junior right there. He's got a lot of speed. He's very intelligent, 30 on his ACT, we've been told, so that there alone will get you in Harvard at the least.
3rd down and a long 10. Let's see if the Dragons will go to the pass. Quarterback back to throw, throws over and complete. He's got some running room, and Dustin Reed runs him out of bounds. Short of Byron Robinson short of the first down, Marty.
And that was pretty good awareness. He had the first down, but he cut backwards, and then Robertson drove him backwards. I don't know about the spot. It wasn't favorable to McCall.
And there's a flag on the play. Could be a illegal lineman downfield. Let's wait and see what the call is.
Yeah, because it looked like Williams had a lot of time, Jeff. And then that goes into, with the weather, some of the defensive linemen don't want to, over pursuit and slip. And believe it or not, it's not a bad idea to pass if it's not driving rain.
Byron Robinson indicating that it's against the Dragons. Pass interference on the offense, so that was probably a pick play, Marty. And that's going to be a big, big penalty there.
Yeah, I didn't see it, Jeff, but, And
one of them's wanting to decline it, and LaGoria's wanting to accept it, and now they get together.
Yeah, I think you got to accept it because that only gives you a 4th and 3.
You're exactly right, Marty.
Midfield, and in this conditions, why not go for it?
Right. So offensive pass interference, a 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage, Marty. So that is a huge penalty. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 25. And wisely, as Coach John LaGoria was urging Coach to do, they accepted the penalty.
Jeff, you probably know a little bit more about football than me. Why is it 4th down?
Evidently, it's a loss of down.
Okay. I didn't realize that.
Now, let's see if McCall knows that. Yes, they're setting up in the punting formation. Back to receive, Byron Robinson. Not too deep, only about 25 yards off the line of scrimmage, so evidently they've seen something on the film. Punts away, and a pretty good punt as he kicks it away from Robinson. A little contact on the punter, but no flag as the ball will roll out of bounds at about the Falcon 39-yard line. They'll set up shop from right there.
And we'll see this wing T offense led by Alan Waddell, the sophomore who has replaced, well, they're going to go with Roussel tonight. Roussel, a junior, and Waddell, a sophomore. Toward the end of the year, they've been kind of flip-flopping them in. Waddell, a little better passer, but for most of the year, Roussel has been running this offense. So figuring they're going to run a little more, he's going to handle it.
Steve Tallow split out to the near side. Handoff straight ahead. Kyle Ryan, and Ryan's getting good positive carry. Going to be up close to the first down.
And that's good. That's a good sign right there. You got your big fullback picking up 9 yards, Jeff. That's a good job. And what a lot of teams like to do is they take away Robertson from the outside. So if you can get that production from your fullback inside, it makes it that much more easier.
Well, Marty, I've watched a lot of the St. Thomas games on TV, and sometimes critical, thinking Byron Robinson didn't get the ball enough, but now I see why. Hand off to Robinson as Robinson tries to make the corner. He does get the corner. And let's see, it's going to be a foot race again to the end zone as Robinson's going to take that in for the touchdown. So just like that, the Falcons are up 13-0 with 8 minutes and 36 seconds remaining in the first quarter. And Marty, this is against a 10-1 football team.
Yeah, and a team with a lot of good athletes, and people question Robertson's speed, but all he does is outrun people, game in and game out, and you got to credit the blocking up front. It has to be good blocking somewhere.
It really does. The best running back in the world can't run behind a line that's not doing their job. But Marty, the big question before was if Byron Robinson would be able to cut. Well, it wasn't a whole lot of cutting there, just good hole and good seam. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So with 8 minutes and 36 seconds remaining in the first quarter, Falcons 14, Dragons 0.
And Jeff, you couldn't have asked for a better start out of St. Thomas. You know, a lot of talking to some coaches in Baton Rouge that I know that I talked to, they honestly didn't think St. Thomas could. One of them's an assistant at Christian Life. Of course, they're playing Faraday. Did not think St. Thomas could beat McCall, but not seen St. Thomas play, but just from what, you know, he's seen and heard. But now some of the questions early on have been answered. Of course, we have a long way to go, but it's a nice start for the Falcons.
Well, Marty, if you look at it on paper, and as we saw the Dragons come out, they're big, very, very big. And you would think that maybe the wet field would favor the bigger team. But thus far, Thunder and Lightning real quick. Byron Robinson returns the opening kickoff, then comes back on the second play from the line of scrimmage, runs about a 55-yard touchdown. So everything's going the Falcons' way thus far. Another kick onto the ground. And we've got one guy who's going to have to try to stop him, and that is the kicker, Jamie Planels, and he does it. But McCall's going to set up shop in Falcon territory.
And, Jeff, this is the 11th game we've done. In every single game, no matter what game it is, the Falcons have given up a big kick return. The Albany game, they returned 2 kicks for touchdowns, and then what really was a turning point in the Sumner game, they ran one back 75, 80 yards. So it's just something that they're snake bitten on. They cannot seem to handle the kickoff returns, and there once again is an example.
McCall Dragons set up shop at the St. Thomas 40-yard line, and that's going to probably be an illegal procedure penalty.
Now that was a good play. That had me faked out when quarterback Williams went back like they were getting it to him, and they snapped it to O'Neal. That I can see where some of the trickery can cause problems.
Legal procedure is the call, so that'll back McCall up 5 yards, make it 1st and 15. And Marty, I can't say enough how big penalties are. 1st and 10 is something that you can pick up pretty easily, but when you go 1st and 15, it changes your game plan.
Yeah, it does, and thus far the penalties have really hurt McCall. I mean, the pass interference, and here this one, they have to start 1st and 15.
1st and 15, Dave Williams in the shotgun, and snap to O'Neal as O'Neal tries to cut the corner. Hard running, run out of bounds by Dustin Reed. Also in on the tackle, number 29, Mike Sharp.
And that's a direct snap to the one of the backs, O'Neal, and he picks up about 5 yards, bringing it to 2nd and 10. And now coming in the game for the Falcons is big 81, Sean Denham, replacing Ryan White.
2nd down and 10, and Marty with the score of 14-0 with 8 minutes and 17 seconds remaining in the first quarter. You would think it's 4-down territory regardless here.
Yeah, no question about it.
Razzle-dazzle play here, and smelled out pretty nicely by the Falcons, led by number 1, Michael Zadaran.
And a good-looking play call, Jeff, right there. And had Johnson got outside, it looked like he may have still been running, but he elected to cut inside where probably the play was going. But nevertheless, good defense, and 3rd down and 6.
3rd and 6, and as we mentioned, Marty, I think this is 4-down territory. So McCall's going to have to try to pick up. They're going to get 2 shots to pick up this 1st down. Snap to O'Neal again as O'Neal tries to turn the corner. Going to get about half of it, so going to bring up 4th down and about 3.
And Jeff, they love the right side, no question about it. I guess that's their staple mate or meat and potatoes play, and they love running O'Neal. That's why he's got 2,000 yards, and that's why they're 10-1.
Well, Marty, thus far, we've seen the ball snapped to O'Neal about 6 or 7 times, and I'm not so sure that this offense is that effective, especially in the wet weather, that maybe running an option or something wouldn't do just as well.
Yeah, Jeff, and maybe Coach Levi Washington may elect to do something. Put Williams under center. And Williams looks like they were going to try to draw him out off sides, but he's going to take a timeout. And Jeff, you know, you got the 2nd round of the playoffs, and you're up 14-0. You got to be feeling pretty good about yourself.
Well, you really do. The only thing that you don't like, there's still 6 minutes and 58 seconds remaining in the 1st quarter, so you've got a lot of football game left to play, and you also have McCall not necessarily knocking on your door, but deep down in your own territory. And this game's going to turn out to be a lot of field position, I would gather. Neither team that I'm aware of really possesses great punting.
No, they don't. And, you know, of course, Robertson punts for St. Thomas. Not a great punter, but effective. And two, McCall has shown the ability to move the ball. It's not like they're getting 3 and out. They are effectively getting 3 and 4 yards a pop.
4th down and a long 3. And snap to O'Neal. O'Neal turns it up, and that's going to be a measurement. And according to the mark, I believe that's going to be a 1st down.
Yeah, Jeff, just another snap to O'Neal, and they're gonna go with the horse that got him here, Jeremy O'Neal. He's gonna get the bulk of the carries, and he's doing it and picking up yardage.
And I want to thank Michael DePaula of Payday Used Cars for donating all the goodies tonight: Cokes, pralines, nachos.
Him and the big power broker in Hammond, Benny Latino III, they went down there and threw out a couple hundreds and bought us something back to drink.
So 1st and 10 at the Falcons' 30-yard line. Handoff to O'Neal. O'Neal's got some blocking in front, but hit hard right there. Drugged down by a host of Falcons.
That's Zadaran and another host. And Jeff, I'm going to tell you what. When I first started doing St. Thomas and AA ball after seeing some AAA and doing Ponchatoula, and then there is a difference in 5A and 2A, but I'm going to tell you what, a scrappy bunch of guys, and they will lay some licks. You will see some leather left.
Also in on the play, number 33, Ben Roussel.
The thing about St. Thomas defensively is they are so technique-oriented. They're always in the right positions. The only way you're going to beat them, of course, if you out-athlete them, because they are going to be in position to make the play, just whether they can make it or not.
Handoff, snap again to O'Neal. Couple yard gain on the carry. It's going to bring up 3rd down. Looks like about 5.
3rd and 5, the Notre Dame box, folks. If you tune into your television station, you've probably never seen this before, as we haven't. It's the old Notre Dame box, made famous by the Gipper and Newt Rockney and company, and it's just unusual, but from McCall, it's been effective.
Snap to O'Neal again. O'Neal's got some blocking out front this time. Dustin Reed had a shot at him, breaks a tackle, and looks like he's going to take it down close to the goal line, and it's going to be down around the 1-yard line, Marty.
And, Jeff, you can't breathe easy tonight with O'Neal. I mean, there was a reason he gained 2,000 yards, and right there you see the strength of that young man.
And one of the reasons he's getting the ball just about every play.
Yeah, but at the rate tonight, he's going to get 40 carries. And right there, that was just a good play call. They had St. Thomas sucked inside, and he got outside, and they're 1st and goal, knocking at the door.
First and goal for the Dragons at about the St. Thomas 1-yard line. And look for O'Neal here. I'd be surprised if he went anywhere else. Snap to O'Neal straight ahead, and he's in for the touchdown.
Jeff, let's just be honest about it. That was a great answer by McCall. I mean, when it seemed that they were kind of down and out, they could have folded the tent early on, but like a good team, they fought back, and now they're back in the ball game with an impressive 62-yard drive, but well, maybe less than that. Of course, set up by the big kickoff return, which once again has hurt the Falcons.
All important extra points, Marty. Don't have to tell you about that. Jason Virgil in to do the kicking. Snap is down, kick is up, and the kick is good. So with 4 minutes and 59 seconds remaining in the first quarter, we've got a barn burner. Falcons 14, Dragons 7.
Hey, Jeff, they just, I've been pleading all year. Of course, thank goodness I'm not a coach. They wouldn't want me as a coach. But I've been pleading for a sky kick. Just kick it up in the air and let them have to fair catch and take it to the 30. They've tried the deep kick. It didn't work. They've tried the squib kick. Obviously, it didn't work. And maybe I'll go out to practice Monday, and you think they'll let me coach the special teams if they win this game?
Well, they just might, Marty. You never know. So, as Byron Robinson burned McCall in the opening kickoff, I'm sure they'll probably try to kick it away from him this time. Don't you agree?
Yeah, Jeff, I would think either out of bounds or the old squig kick. But definitely I wouldn't kick it to him.
But it looks like Robinson's going to get another shot. Takes the ball on the run, has another seam, but going to be dragged down at about the 42-yard line.
And that's good field position for the Falcons right there, Jeff, up to the 43-yard line.
Nice blocking by number 68, Derek Ferreira. And Marty, it's not going to be long before we're not going to be able to recognize these numbers as the field's starting to get muddy. So you've done the game, so you'll just have to guess who they are.
Yeah, Jeff, it's going to get to that point as hopefully the rain has subsided for the rest of the night. But like you alluded to earlier, this field is going to be a pigsty in a matter of minutes, especially at midfield where they've been playing the bulk of the game.
Butch Roussel under center, Robinson in motion, and we have a penalty on the play.
That's encroachment on McCall.
Offsides McCall is the call, as Marty Morgan gets it right, and that'll bring up 1st and 5 right in the middle of the puddle. But there again, that 1st and 5 is just so much easier to pick up than the 1st and 10.
Yeah, that's the spot at the old Oyster Festival where Mike DePaula won the pig catching contest.
Hand off straight ahead, and finding running room, Kyle Ryan picks up the first down.
And Jeff, the wing T offense, I love that offense. One of the best offenses if you run it right, which St. Thomas does. It's very hard to stop. And now it looks like they're going to the no-huddle version of it.
But they're waiting on the football, so usually the no-huddle is to catch the defense where they can't make any changes. But when you bring in a football, it gives you a lot of time. Roussel under center. Hand off again to Ryan, and he's going to find good running room as he'll be up close to another first down.
Yeah, and it looks like they're making a living off of big Kyle Ryan as he has stepped up big in the last 3 games, and he's about 5'9", about 190, and he's a load, and he runs good.
And Marty, this left side of the offensive line led by Jamal Thomas doing a great job for the Falcons tonight.
And big Trey Tantilla.
Hand off again. And it seems to me, Marty, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
No question about it, Jeff. The Ryans having success up the middle. If they're going to give it to them, continue to go with it.
And it also serves another purpose, and that's to keep the linebackers at home. They're not just sprinting outside to stop Byron Robinson.
Excellent point, Jeff. Excellent point.
And off to Robinson, and he's cutting it back in for a good positive gain of about 7 on the carry.
And 7-yard gain, and they continue to get 5-6 yards on first down, exactly where you want to be.
Ideally, what you'd like to do is take this ball down the field, use as much time as you can, but top it off with a touchdown. That's important.
No question about it.
Roussel, handoff again. Robinson hunting and pecking, and not much there.
Yeah, it looks like tonight they're going to have to try to get Robertson maybe outside, Jeff. Having a little trouble around the tackles. I'd probably look for Ryan this time. They have not yet to stop Ryan.
Looks like third down about a yard, Marty, so very makeable third down. No doubt you're in 4-down territory here. 3 minutes and 2 seconds remaining in the first quarter. St. Thomas leading 14-7. And handoff, finding great running room, Kyle Ryan.
And that may have gone unnoticed. Good block by Robertson on the end to spring Ryan. Right, the play could have gone off guard, but he took it outside.
But Marty, not knowing St. Thomas, and I'll be the first to admit it, not seeing that many games, I thought this was a one-man team, but I'm seeing a whole different story tonight.
It is, and they're keeping McCall off balance. If you elect...
Again to Ryan finding running room.
Well, what has happened as the season's gone on and teams have gotten film, Jeff, they eagle out a little more, and they try to take away the outside and Robertson, and Coach Johnson says, if you're going to do that, I'm going to use my inside guy, and they're taking away Robertson, and St. Thomas is effective with Ryan. So we got 2:34 in the first quarter, and once again the Falcons threatening, Jeff. It's just been they've methodically matriculating down the field, very businesslike on offense, and simply having their way.
Yeah, what you said. I tell you, Marty, and the big thing is, and it's pretty hard to believe on a field like tonight, we've seen very few penalties, but more than that, we've seen no turnovers.
Yeah, that's very important. Hadn't seen any turnovers, and that's been quite surprising. And maybe the most important guy is a little manager with the rock salt or the lime, trying to keep the football dry.
So when the Falcons come back out, they'll be faced with a second down and about 4 yards. And you got to be impressed the way Coach Johnson has mixed up this offense. It's been Byron Robinson and Kyle Ryan. And we've got movement there.
And that would definitely be on the Falcons, I would assume, Jeff.
Legal procedure will be the call.
And that's going to hurt. You know, that instead of 2nd and 5, that's going to be 2nd and 10 now. So still, you get to about the 2-yard line, you pick up a first down.
The biggest thing it does, Marty, is changes your play calling a little bit. And off to Robinson. Robinson cutting up the middle. Explosive burst. Going to be down at about the 4-yard line.
And that was just a good little hop skip right there by Robertson to get close to the first down. Looked like he was going to be bottled up, but he sprung outside and picked up positive yards. So now we have a 3rd and 3 for the first down and 3rd and 5 for a touchdown.
Good downfield blocking by number 77, Blake Barrelou. Also number 90, Brent Barrios.
And one of the reasons you run the wing T, Jeff, you don't have to have very big guys. It's all angle blocking. If you can just basically tap a man, you give it an opening.
Robinson in motion, hand off to Richardson. Richardson finding a little daylight. It's going to be short of the first down. Look like about a yard.
Yeah, it's going to depend very close, Jeff, and I think you may have gotten about a yard short. So it's going to be 4th and a yard and a critical play at this juncture in the game.
Well, general consensus would say give it to Byron Robinson, but I'm going to tell you, Kyle Ryan has been so very successful, and it's close enough to measure, so let's wait and see.
Yeah, to be honest with you, Kyle Ryan has been the more positive, gotten more positive yard than Robertson tonight. We will take it. Do you go a hard count here too, and then maybe take a timeout, or do you quick count, or just go with it?
Well, anybody that's watched my broadcast knows that I love a quarterback sneak in this situation.
I do too. And you hear announcers on pro games all the time say that. And especially with no nose guard.
Roussel under center, you're exactly right, Marty.
If he would notice that, he would definitely get it.
I'd call my own play real quickly. And Ryan, the handoff to Ryan, and he's going to get into the end zone on the extra effort.
And I thought he was stopped for a moment, but he just kept churning those legs and used that extra effort and picked up the touchdown. So now with 1:19 to go in the first quarter, the Falcons have jumped to a 20-7 lead, Jeff. And we figured, talking to Coach Ligori early in the week, he said it would be a shootout, and looks like that's what we got.
Well, you're exactly right on that, Marty. And it looks like every point is going to be critical as Brad McKee in to do the extra point. Snap is down, kick is up, and the kick is good. 1:19 remaining. That's right, first quarter. Falcons 21, the Dragons 7.
And Jeff, we hadn't even had a chance to get to know each other, talk to some of our fans out here. It's just been that quick pace. It's some never stop action tonight in Strawberry Stadium. So 1:19 to go in the first quarter, and the Falcons have jumped up 21-7. And now the scariest thing the Falcons have done all year, kick off.
Well, Marty, maybe they'll go to your sky kick. You know, we've seen a much improved kicking game in the high school level, primarily due to soccer. And
St. Thomas having one of the best soccer teams in the state. Last year, I think they made it to the semifinals, and, you know, I talked to somebody, they've got kickers. Anytime you got a soccer team like that, you got to have kickers.
Jamie Planell's to kick, waiting for the official.
If St. Thomas doesn't have anything, they better have kickers because they got a decent soccer team. That's one thing they better have.
Planell's kicks, and he gets a good foot into this one. Is he going to kick it over the man's head? He's going to have a shot to return it. And as the Falcons close, he's going to find a lane to the outside. He's found a wall, and there's one man, and as Richardson's going to run him down, but no, he didn't. Still on his feet, still running. Touchdown, Marty.
What do you say? An incredible run by Landry Carter, and
Marty, I gave him up for dead a couple of times. It looked like the Falcons were all around him. It looked like they had him outside. It looked like they had him out of bounds, but the man would not be denied.
No, and they can kick me off the broadcast or whatever. I pleaded and pleaded. The only thing you can do to stop this is sky kick it. That's it. They better, I don't know if they'll be playing next week if they continue to do this. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's been happening all year, and hey, it's just, I don't know. I'm speechless about it, Jeff. It shouldn't be happening. It should not be happening. Shame on them if it keeps happening, and it keeps happening.
And it's a fake as they go for two and wide open.
And the special teams and the kicking games have allowed McCall to get back in this game, Jeff. And now they're only down by 6 points.
And let's give it to the McCall coach. He caught St. Thomas completely by surprise on that two-point conversion.
And St. Thomas has outplayed them, and they've done everything. And now they're in a little trouble.
Well, they're still leading on the scoreboard 21-15, and believe it or not, still in the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, we could be with one of these 68-60 games tonight, Jeff, and may not get out of here until 10 o'clock tonight.
I'm sure Coach Randy Johnson is going to make a few adjustments. Tell these guys don't get their heads down. They're leading the ball game. We've already seen 2 kickoffs return for touchdowns. The opening kickoff by St. Thomas and Byron Robinson, and then a Billy Cannon-like run there by
Carter.
the McCall.
And Jeff, that was it. You know, I've been critical of the kickoff team, but the fact of the matter is that was a pretty darn good kickoff return by Landry Carter. I mean, you got to give that kid some credit. He was hit like a pinball, and he kept his feet, and he simply scored.
Kickoff and kicking away from Robinson this time, and it's going to be fielded right there by William Marshall. So worst field position for St. Thomas thus far.
And now, Jeff, you know, what happens is McCall gets a little momentum and they get a turnover and a score, then they go ahead when St. Thomas has dominated the entire first quarter. And that's just another facet of the game. Offense, defense, and special teams. And obviously they having trouble with their kickoff teams as they had all year.
1st and 10 for the Falcons as they set up shop at their own 31-yard line. Richardson in motion. Hand off to Robinson. Robinson is going to find nice running room. He's going to gain about 5 on the carry.
And that was just a little trap play up the middle, and it closed quickly. But nevertheless, Robertson did pick up about 5 yards, bringing it 2nd and 5 for the Falcons. 41 seconds to go in the first quarter. Marty Morgan along with Jeff Davis, FPTV Channel 17, quarterfinal action at Strawberry Stadium where the Falcons lead 21-15.
Which may be the longest first quarter I've ever seen. And as if we're seeing the St. Louis Rams tonight. Handoff straight ahead. Kyle Ryan, he'll be just short of the first down.
And I believe after that, Jeff, that's going to take us to the end of the first quarter. Well, I don't know. So St. Thomas with the hurry-up offense may try to get another play, but I don't think they are. And they're not. So the end of the first quarter, your score, St. Thomas 21 and McCall 15, and we're going to take a break.
At the Falcons' 40-yard line. Need to get just about to the 41. Hand off to Robinson, and he's not going to get it.
That was Ryan, I believe.
Well, as these
It's hard
uniforms
to tell.
start to get
7 and
dirty,
2.
it's going to be tough.
You got to punt the football, Jeff. 4th and a yard. I would. And McCall seems like they've tightened up a little bit, and the old Riverboat Gambler, Randy Johnson, the Tommy Tuberville look-alike contest winner, is going to go for it. Oh, my goodness.
Roussel brings his troop up
I don't know about
center.
this one, Jeff.
And off to Byron Robinson, and Robinson on his own, he's going to get it. And I think I like it, Marty, because he's not taking the distance as the Falcons on 4th and 1, as it looked like he was going to be stopped. Somehow, some way, Byron Robinson takes it in for a touchdown.
Well, I guess I'll never question Coach Johnson again. No, I guess I will, but he's a great coach. But when you got a great player like that, why not? He just makes things happen.
Well, look at it this way, Marty. I mean, of course, the textbook would say to punt this ball. But you've suffered with your kicking game some, and if you're going to go deep in the playoff, you're going to have to be able to pick up a yard.
That's a very good point, Jeff, right there. And I mean, what can you say about Robertson? All the adjectives, all the verbs, all the syllables, anything. He's just amazing, and he continues to impress.
Falcons elect to go for 2. Hand off to Robinson, and Robinson just needs to get the corner. Does. In for the 2-point conversion.
And that was a late hit, Jeff, on the track, and I don't think they called it. So that brings the score to 29-15 as we have a scoreboard malfunction.
So you're exactly right, Marty. I was looking at that scoreboard, but right, 29-15, and that's going to make 2 touchdowns and 2 extra points. So Coach Johnson did the correct thing as McCall went for it the last time they scored a touchdown, so that pretty much evens the slate. But, boy, there's a lot of points being scored tonight.
Yeah, Jeff. I mean, if I don't know what the over and under was on this game, but if it was 60, they're going to get it.
Well, Michael DePaula put out a line at 78. So
we may get there. And now, Jeff, you hadn't seen St. Thomas for once and in person. I've seen them. This is my 12th time. I've seen the troubles they've had on kickoffs, and this is kind of scary. You've seen it already, and it's just been 3 kickoffs, so we'll see what they do.
People start to scramble as it starts to rain again, and that's going to only make the field sloppier. Kickoff and a deep kickoff. Some guy with a dark jersey has it. And good coverage that time for the Falcons.
And that's how you cover a kick. But ideally, even though I'd like to see him sky kick it to about the 30 and make the guy fair catch it, but I'm never going to coach St. Thomas. They're never going to let me coach, and they're never going to listen to me.
Well, you're right in a way, Marty, and I'm going to tell you, because if you nice little run back there brings the ball to the 30. If they sky kick it to the 35 or even to the 40, you only give up 10 yards and you have no chance of a run back.
And I know Planell's or McKee, who's there, I think it's Planell's, can do that, no question about it.
10 minutes and 58 seconds remaining in the first half. Falcons leading this contest 29-15. Snap straight ahead, and O'Neal tackled by a smaller Michael Zadaran, but Zadaran, he stuck his head in there. He wasn't scared.
Yeah, him and Cody Bertone. Old Richard Bertone, your old buddy, his son, number 28, with a little help, and they're kind of seeing how tough Mr. O'Neal is, Jeff, as he is a big bruising back.
Second down and about 2. Ball spotted to McCall, 37-yard line. And dump out pass to the near side. There's going to be a flag on the play, and that's going to be a late hit out of bounds, and that's a pretty cheap call there.
Yeah, but
he hit him, but not very hard. I mean, that's.
No, you're right. But nevertheless, it is going to be a penalty. He hit him out of bounds.
Let's see what the call. We have a clip against McCall. Okay, so that wasn't a late hit out of bounds.
I didn't see it, Jeff. You have to explain it to me.
Go home and watch it on TV.
Yeah.
You'll get a better explanation there.
But to be honest with you, folks, we're just a little confused at this point, but we'll get it straight. I think they're going to call a clipping penalty, but we saw the late flag when we thought it was a late hit on Bertone, but they must have not called it. Maybe it was 2 penalties.
So that's going to be a loss of down, Marty, and that's going to bring up 3rd down and about 16.
And a definite passing situation. And Jeff, this time for Mr. Williams to get dirty. He's the only man without a dirt on him. We got to sack him.
Exactly right. And Williams throws it in and caught right there.
And interfered with.
By number 6, George Edwards, and as you mentioned, probably pass interference also.
And you see some of the athletic ability of McCall, Jeff, right there. And I'll tell you what, Dave Williams has been on the target. The 4 balls that he's thrown tonight have been perfect passes.
So 1st down, McCall. 10 minutes and 5 seconds remaining in the first half. Falcons 29, Dragons 15.
And you can see right here that at no point, whether the Falcons are up by 28, 38, or 48, will they have a chance to rest tonight. Because this is an explosive offense, and they can strike at any time. So now we have a 1st down and 10 at the 48-yard line as the Dragons are back trying to score. As we were just seesawing back and forth.
Dave Williams under center, and he's dropping back to pass again. He's going to be sacked.
And that's Mr. Marshall. No, I'm sorry. That's going to be John Garan on the sack. And now Mr. Williams is dirty, Jeff.
It was about time. John Guerin, fine young man. I think this is his first year of football, and he's done a super job.
Yeah, Jeff, he certainly has. He's been one of the most improved players on this Falcon team.
Snap to O'Neal to the near side, and somebody comes out of nowhere and runs him down, and that's Dustin Reed.
And he's a good little player. Some of his speed and some of his aggressiveness. He's just a good high school linebacker, Dustin Reed. Very, very tough.
So that's going to bring up third down and about 17. I'm just going to guess that. Third down the long way anyway, Marty.
Yeah, third and what, 18 we'll call it?
Williams under center. Williams back to pass. And he's just going to heave this one up and nearly intercepted
by Mike Sharp. And Burton was also back there.
Burton on the coverage.
So, Jeff, the defense is finally held, and now McCall in the punting situation. Will they punt? You got to.
You've got to punt, but could be any kind of trickery. Back to punt will be number 5, Douglas Jackson. Byron Robinson back deep, and when I say deep, it's only about 20 yards off the line of scrimmage. And it's going to be kicked to him as he calls a fair catch at the 30, and that's going to be a 25-yard punt, no return.
So the Falcons once again have pretty good field position at their own 30, and Jeff, they hadn't been stopped tonight, and we'll see if they continue to execute offensively like they have in the first quarter and midway through the second quarter. Is if I recall or memory serves me correctly, they haven't been stopped on offense. They've scored on every possession.
Yeah, they have. And ideally what they'd like to do is go on a long, sustained drive, take some time off this clock. 8 minutes and 17 seconds remaining in the first half. 29-15 Falcons. Hand off to Byron Robinson, and Robinson is going to gain about a yard on the carry.
And that's Deion Robertson right there with the stop, and second down and about 9 for the Falcons.
Excuse me, is this unusual for the Falcons to go in a no-huddle offense?
Well, they have done it a couple games, but and that's a nice little wrinkle. That's just good coaching right there by Johnson to do this, to incorporate this.
Hand off straight ahead. Kyle Ryan, I do believe.
Because as you know, in the playoffs, you always want to have that little element of surprise in there, and I think this is part of it, going to the no-huddle.
Third down and 5. 7 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the first half. And off to Robinson. Robinson finding the hole, finding the crease, still on his feet. It's going to be another foot race as he stiff arms, and he is going to go all the way.
He is good. I mean, he makes a man miss. He does a pirouette. He stiffs arm another man, and he goes 62 yards for, I believe, his 4th score of the night, Jeff. And he's just fun to watch. You know what I mean? You get your money's worth when you come out here and watch Byron Robertson.
The only bad thing about it, no long sustained drive, Marty. You only eat up 10 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, I ain't no question about it.
Well, great stiff arm move. That was a beauty. Grant McKee in to do the extra point. Snaps down, kick is up, and the kick is good. So, with 7 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in the first half, St. Thomas 36, McCall 15.
So we're going to take a break.
Jamie Planell's kick off, and he's going to kick that ball out of bounds
But if McCall's smart, Jeff, they back him up 5 yards and make him kick it again.
Now,
or you could take it on the 40.
At the 40, and that's great field position.
But let's be honest, the way their kickoff coverage is, I make them kick it again.
It appears they're going to do that, Marty. You know, and the biggest difference that I see after doing 5A football is that most of the game is played between the 20s in 5A football, and you drop down in the league, they start being played between the 30s and 35s.
Yeah, because a lot of teams don't have the good kickers that the 5A teams have.
And we're not knocking anybody kicking off. It's just you got a lot more guys to choose from.
Yeah, no question about it. I was telling ironically, I was telling somebody else after doing all the Ponchatoula games, you know, because most of the kicks went in the end zone. And like you say, you got 1,200 boys to choose from as opposed to 400.
But Planells was definitely trying to kick that away, trying to get it into a corner where the defense could cover and pursue. And just a little angle kick, and St. Thomas makes the tackle, so not so bad. They'll set up shop at about the 45-yard line.
Yeah, Jeff, that's good, not bad field position. Had they taken the penalty, they'd have got at the 40, only a 5-yard differential, so it worked out good for the Falcons. So it's 7:07 to go before half. The Falcons have jumped to a 36-15 lead.
And the bad thing about it, Marty, they've scored 36 points in the first quarter and a half, and I believe they're going to have to continue to score to win this ball game.
Yeah, I do too.
Dave Williams, your quarterback. Hand off to O'Neal straight up the middle, and he's going to be stood up there, led by number 53, Ryan Dugas.
Yeah, Ryan Dugas, another one of them quick defensive down linemen. Not very big on the defensive front, but very quick. A lot of squatty bodies, Jeff, guys about 5'10", 220 that can move.
And give me those guys with a lot of heart, and I'll take them every time. So second down, let's call it about 7 yards. 6 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the first half. Dave Williams is your quarterback, and that's handed off to O'Neal, and there's flags, and it's probably going to be an illegal procedure. His coach, John Lagoria, is pointing, take it back, take it back, take it back.
And that was a nice little play right there, Jeff. He did a little pirouette and a spin move, and it's kind of fun to watch.
And, you know, and a little bit of talk going around town about John Lagoria pretty much being a defensive genius.
Well, I would say, I mean, you talk about Byron Robertson, but you got to talk about this Falcon defense, and that's John Lagoria. He really has. He's a better football coach than he is a baseball coach.
And he's a good baseball coach.
He ought to stick to football. Ought to be somebody's defensive coordinator somewhere. So he has done an excellent job. We're good friends with John. We just gave him a hard time.
So second down and 13. And O'Neal on the run again, and Dustain Reed's there. Doesn't make the tackle, but slows him down enough for the pursuit to catch up.
Yeah, just didn't wrap up. But Dustain Reed, a fast little guy, plays with a lot of heart, and he will hit you.
Well, it's hard to wrap up a bowling ball, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, you're right. O'Neal is a bowling ball, 5'9", about 190, and he's tough.
So that's going to bring up third down and about 8. Ball spotted at the McCall 47-yard line. And thus far, the field's held up pretty decently.
Yeah, it has, Jeff. I expected it to be a lot muddier than it was.
And Dave Williams kept it himself and was tackled on the play by number 58, Ryan White.
And now McCall once again has to come in and punt. I would guess they would punt right here, Jeff. 5:40 and just maybe going halftime, only down 36-15.
But the bad thing is St. Thomas gets the ball back.
And they got Mr. Robertson back to receive this punt. Let's see, he's ran a kickoff back. He's ran about 4 balls of 60 or plus yards for touchdown. About time for him to return a punt.
Jackson punts, and fair catch signal by Byron Robinson. And had a little room to run, but you don't want to make any mistakes down there.
No, you don't. And maybe he just wants to get an 80-yard run, and it's an 80-yard run. I don't know. But, you know, Jeff, the funny thing about this game thus far, no turnovers. That's been amazing. So 5:12 to go before half.
Butch Roussel brings out his troops. And handoff to Richardson. Richardson looks like he's going to gain a couple on the carry as the rain starts to come down just a little bit harder.
Yeah, Jeff, you know, the way it rained yesterday and today, we've really been fortunate to not have a lot of rain, but it looks like we're fixing to get a lot, or maybe one of those nights where it kind of drizzles on and off. Just a steady little downpour, nothing traumatic, but hard enough to bother you.
2nd down and 8. And handoff straight ahead
to Ryan, and right there, Jeff, you see McCall trying to strip the ball. So now we have a 3rd and 2 for the Falcons, and they continue the hurry-up offense.
And of course, everyone knows Byron Robinson, but you got to be real impressed with Kyle Ryan if you hadn't seen him. Byron Robinson trying to cut and juke, and he looks like he's going to be brought down short of the 1st down.
Yeah, it looked like that particular time, had he carried it out, he may have picked up the 1st, but I think he was looking for a hole, Jeff, and I'm not going to question the way he runs by any means, but they're going to have to punt for the first time in the game tonight.
For the first time, 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the first half. St. Thomas leading this contest 36-15, and it's been an exciting one.
Yeah, it really has, and it's been dominated by St. Thomas to a lot of people's surprise. You know, you look at this McCall team, very big, very athletic, very physical, but you know, St. Thomas are about as well coached as you can find, and they execute to perfection. I mean, it's going to be a timeout, and Jeff would, you know, they run the wing tee, and they run a couple plays, you know, a number of 3 or 4 plays, but what they do is they execute to perfection. And when you execute the way they execute, they just hard to stop. And joining me is Benny Latino, used to be an old co-host of mine, kind of got me started in this business. And Benny, what you think about the Falcons?
I've been pretty much impressed with the discipline on defense, except for one series right there, Marty. I think that St. Thomas is playing really, really well. They don't make a lot of mistakes, and you have to commend both the offensive and the defensive coaching staffs for the Falcons, because they're really playing within themselves, and they got a game plan, and they're trying to stick to it.
And number 2's not bad, is he?
No, he's actually you know, better than what I thought. I've seen him a couple times this year, and seen him against the caliber of athletes that are on this other team, which there's some pretty good athletic guys. I mean, they're averaging about 260, I'd say. There's a bad snap, Marty. Better get out of there.
Ryan's going to have to, he should have just kicked that ball out and got the safety, but now, by recovering it, Benny,
touchdown situation.
It's going to be 1 yard for a touchdown, and that's something that could hurt the way this game's gone.
Well, you're right. It's a back-and-forth ball game right now, and you know, we could say he should have kicked it out of the back of the end zone or something to that effect. But when you're out there in the game situation, there's guys running on you, and it's a slippery football. Your first instinct probably is to dive on it and try to stop the ball.
Yeah, no question.
And not only that, you might not even know exactly where you're at when it's muddy down there. You may have thought the ball was in the end zone. That's a play that you look back and say you should have done this, but nobody was in his shoes at that moment. Just recover it, and that's what he did.
And you know, little things like that can turn the game around when it looks like St. Thomas seemingly had the game in hand. Now McCall scores a touchdown. They only down by two scores.
Well, that's right, Marty, but you know, this is going to be a game of the team that makes the less amount of turnovers will probably prevail. And because of the field conditions, the weather, it's still continually to have a light drizzle out there. The team that makes the less mistakes is probably going to come out the victor here tonight. And so far, St. Thomas has done a good job of that. And bad snaps or over-the-head snaps, the punter, is part of rainy football.
Yeah, that's a good point, and you got to look at McCall. They've done an excellent job on their punts by not having bad snaps. And St. Thomas's first time out, they did have a bad snap.
Right, and I have to say, I really think the athletic ability of McCall is more than I thought. They're big. I mean, they're bigger than most of the 5A schools in our area across the front line and in the backfield. The difference is there's not a great amount of guys on the team, but their first 15, 18 guys are pretty good-looking guys, wouldn't you say, Jeff?
Yeah, they're huge, I tell you, and got a fine running back and really a very unusual scheme. Snap straight ahead to O'Neal, and O'Neal waltzed right into the end zone. So big turnover. Let's hope it don't come back to haunt the Falcons. But 2 points would have sure looked a lot better than 6.
I think what you got here is a contradictory, actually two different type of running backs. You got a la Dominic Davis on St. Thomas and Tofield on McCall's side. I mean, you can view it that way, and that's what you have. You have one big power back that has some speed, and you got one finesse back that has a lot of moves and tries to get to the outside and use his speed. And I tell you what, I've been impressed with Byron Robinson's speed to the outside tonight.
And McCall's going to set up and go for 2. And we've got a flag on the play again.
And it's just a lot of confusion right now, and you figure after touchdown you wouldn't be that confused, but they're wondering, what play they're actually going to run, and that penalty right there is going to back them up 5 yards and hurt them.
That's right.
Now they may have to go the old conventional style and just kick it through.
Well, Marty, I think that this could be a very important extra point right here for McCall, because they really need to convert this too. I don't know if they're going to be able to, pushing them back with 5 more yards. And I think they're going to stay with the plan to go for the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, if they get it here, they pull within 13. And if they don't make it, they're down by 15. So this is a very important play.
Regardless of the score, unless you're in the last couple minutes, you really can't take anything for granted because of the quality of athletes that McCall has on the field. I mean, that quarterback he's about 6'3" and about 200 with a good arm. He's back looking. He's got a man over them. Byron steps up and then closed on the ball, made a nice defensive play. It didn't really matter right there if he made the interception.
So the Falcons only give up the 6, but that's a tough 6 to give. And we got 3 minutes to go before half, and St. Thomas leads 36-21, and McCall will be picking up. And I don't think it's a bad idea if you may try the old onside kick at this point. With the weather conditions, I think you got a better chance to recover it.
Well, I got to agree with you, Marty. I think there's two reasons to probably go with the onside kickers. A little bit of a swivel kick is, A, you keep it out of Byron Robinson's hand possibly, and B, you might pick up the fumble right here, because I don't think anybody's going to pick it up on an actual grab right away.
Yeah, and with these conditions, and now the rain starts to come down even more, and we'll see how this play as the game goes on, as we have 3 minutes to go before half and an entire second half. So, folks, don't touch that dial, because we have a long way to go in this game. And kicking off for the Dragons will be Jason Virgil, and Robertson, Tallow, Zataran, and Bertone back deep.
There you go, Marty, with the swivel kick. Looks like Tallow picks it up. He slides at about the 45-yard line, and that's where St. Thomas Aquinas will take over 1st and 10.
So
3 minutes to go before half, Jeff, and
I want to thank Benny Latino for coming in and give us a little break. Benny was my first guy I worked with in TV and did a great job. 3 minutes and 1 second remaining in the first half. Falcons 36, Dragons 21, and here again, this long sustained drive is what you'd like to have. Byron Robinson cuts it up, hanging on to the ball, going to gain about 4 yards on the carry.
And Jeff, ideally, of course you want to score a touchdown, but you definitely do not want a turnover and let them get within 7. So I'd give a big dose of Byron Robertson on this drive. But the way Ryan's running tonight, I'll take either one. So, Jeff, it looks like the Falcons are going to continue to stay in their hurry-up offense and try to get another score.
Clock continues to run as we get 2:15 mark, and 3rd and 1. Pick up this first down and just take it on down and hand off to Robinson. And Robinson, he's going to be very close to the first down. I believe he's got it.
Yeah, he's got it. So now the Falcons pick up the first down. That stops the clock. We'd like to thank Payless Furniture and Appliances for sponsoring tonight's game. Ricky Brooks and company do a good job. They got good sales going on right now. Go by and see them on North Morrison Boulevard across from Bill Hood Ford. That's Payless Furniture and Appliance. And also Dr. Drew and Connie Doucette for bringing you tonight's game.
Roussel hands off straight ahead to Kyle Ryan. No gain on the play, but that clock continues to run, and that's very important, Marty.
Yeah, I don't, obviously you want the score here, but hey, just don't give them another score.
Well, you don't, and you want to shorten the game as much as you can when you got a 15-point lead.
And with this kind of offense, that's just what that does. And like you said, Jeff, this field, believe it or not, has held up nicely.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. I know the field's been hard. We hadn't had that much rain, so. And Roussel's back to pass, and he's got some running room. And I think maybe he heard some people hollering from up here, and he's going to pick up first down and more up to about the 35-yard line.
And that's a smart move by Mr. Roussel right there to tuck it and run, Jeff, as he had all kind of openings right there, and he did the smart thing by tucking and running it.
So this changes everything now, Marty, as they don't rule him out of bounds, so as the clock continues to run, 55 seconds remaining in the first half. And handoff straight ahead, Kyle Ryan, and St. Thomas is going to have to hurry as they are now in scoring position.
And how many timeouts they have? I believe they got 2 left, so they're not in bad shape. 37 seconds and 2 timeouts. We'll see if they get in field goal range or if they score.
And off to Byron Robinson. Robinson finding some running room, cuts the ball back, still on his feet, down to about the 22-yard line.
And that's going to stop the clock once again with the first down to the 21-yard line. And, Jeff, this is a great drive thus far.
And they're wanting a spike of the football. So evidently St. Thomas is down to either 1 timeout or no timeouts. As the clock starts, Roussel spikes it.
And I think he wasted about 4 seconds, to be honest with you. Had he just gone up to the line and spiked it, but that's, like you say, that's hard to do. So we got a 2nd down and 10 with 16 seconds to go before half, and St. Thomas threatening. How hard would a field goal be under these conditions?
Very tough.
Extremely hard.
Very tough. You're looking at the shortest, about a 37-yard field goal in the mud. Clowns are done. 2nd down and 10. More importantly, 16 seconds remaining in the half. Handoff straight ahead. Ryan's got some running room. Down to about the 11-yard line as St. Thomas uses their final timeout. Now they'll go for the field goal.
Yeah, Jeff, and we're going to see is either they're going to go with Planells or McKee. We'll see. And that's good clock management. Excellent job by the Falcons. Use of the clock and getting into this field goal position.
Ball appears to be spotted at about the 14-yard line, so that's going to be a 31, right at a 30-yard field goal. Now, the worst thing about it is the sloppy field condition, whether or not you can plant that foot and get a good kick into it.
And then the snap's going to be that much harder also in this weather, as we saw on the punt.
Jamie Parnells will be trying the 30-yard field goal. 9 seconds remaining in the first half as St. Thomas leading 36-21. Snap, hold is good. The kick is low, kick is blocked. and they need to fall on that ball. And that's going to be the end of the first half.
And Jeff, that's going to take us a half. Good first half by the Falcons as they lead 36-21, and we'll be back with the second half kickoff after these timeouts.
Half, McCall will receive, Marty, and I tell you what, 36-21 halftime score. Most games don't end up that high.
No, Jeff, and that's not something that you can feel comfortable with if you are a Falcon fan. And now the most dangerous part of Falcon football, the kickoff. Fans are scared to death. They're on their feet because they just can't cover a kick. As we will start the second half. And that's a good idea to squib it right there. And
well, how you like that one, Marty?
I love it. Of course, I'd rather the sky kick, but I'll take that. And they're going to start at their own 30-yard line, 1st and 10, as quarterback Dave Williams will come in to direct this Notre Dame box offense. And Jeff, you were outside. It was freezing cold. Imagine how the players feel.
Well, they're starting to warm up, getting into the action. And, after you lay a little leather, you feel pretty good. But right now they're a little bit stiff. Dave Williams is your quarterback. Still a pretty clean jersey as the ball snapped directly ahead to Jeremy O'Neal. Ball is on the turf, but McCall recovers.
And Jeff, that right off the bat, you see the adjustments that McCall made. They bring 2 receivers wide to make 2 defensive backs go with them. That means there's less men inside to tackle, and O'Neal had a little opening right there. If he didn't fumble the ball, he was going to pick up about 8 to 10 yards.
2nd down and 6. Ball at the McCall 34-yard line. O'Neal. Williams on the carry, and it strung out nicely out there.
William Marshall, Jeff.
William Marshall.
And that's what I talked about. The way they play defense is the technique is so sound, and that's another example. Turn the man in. Defensive end, don't let him get outside of you, and that's coaching. That's all that is.
That's all you need to do. All your help comes from the backside, so if you can keep him in, and just a great job by Marshall. Third down and 13. And what a big stop it would be for the Falcons.
Yeah, Jeff, because with this rain and all, to be honest, I don't know that we'll have the scoring that we had in the first half.
Trips to the far side. Looked like a little motion, nothing called. Out there to make the tackle, number 85.
Guerin.
John Guerin.
Another example of good defense. He's at his defensive end spot. He's got his responsibility, and he makes the tackle. Now, good defense. First time out by the Falcons, forcing McCall to punt.
10 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Falcons leading 36-21. Back to receive the punt will be Byron Robinson, along with number 42, Steve Tallow. Robinson standing about 25 yards off the line.
Yeah, Jeff, like you said, they've seen something on the film that
end-over-end kick, and that's going to end up being a good kick for McCall.
Yeah, I was fixing to say that McCall doesn't have the ability to kick the ball far, which they probably don't, but he was a beneficiary of a great roll, and now the Falcons set up at their 37-yard line. 9:38 to go in the third, and St. Thomas leads 36-21. As Butch Roussel has done a great job directing this wing T offense. No turnovers thus far in the ball game.
Richardson in motion, handoff straight ahead, and that's Kyle Ryan. And Ryan's going to gain a couple on the carry.
And what you get with Ryan, Jeff, is gritty, gutty, tough little guy. Just gives it his all, continues to move those legs, and the hard, tough yards, as they say. And it's a nice 1-2 punch with Ryan and Robinson. The 4 R's, Ryan, Robertson, Richardson, and Roussel. So 2nd and 8 for the Falcons. As this third quarter has kind of moved swiftly, Jeff, and that's pretty good.
Well, it was a long first half as there were a lot of touchdowns scored. Richardson in motion. Pitch to Robinson. Robinson's got a little gap. He's got a seam, still on his feet. It's going to be another foot race. Stiff arm down to about the 22-yard line.
And just an excellent run once again by Robertson. He caught the crease, he outran a guy, stiff-armed another one, and picked up about 40 yards, and he's over 200 yards on the night, Jeff.
And a kickoff return.
Yeah, he's a pretty good back. So that gives the Falcons good field position down to the 20-yard line, and as they continue to march, as they have not been stopped once. I think they've been stopped once.
Hand off straight ahead to Ryan. Ryan's finding running room. Ryan's going to be very close to another Falcon first down.
And what Ryan does good, Jeff, is he covers up the ball. I would doubt that he has fumbled this year. I haven't seen it or I've forgotten about it, but he holds on to that ball with two hands like you taught, and he's just a bull of a runner. But he had a hole that, I mean.
He ran over the tackle spot of Blake Baraloo. 1st and 10, ball is about the 11-yard line. Hand off again to Ryan, and there's going to be a penalty flag. You would think that would be some kind of legal motion.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, a legal motion. And on the wing tee, ideally what you'd like to do, the field is cut in thirds. 1/3, 2/3, and 3/3. And it's depicted on angle blocking. And what you try to do as an offense is go to the side where they have the least amount of men in the thirds. And when you get that matchup, you have success, Jeff. Remember that. That's coaching 101. That's the wing tee. Field's cut in thirds. You getting all this?
Yeah.
You go where the least amount of men are lined up, and when you find that, you'll have success. You watch Rick Gailey, that's why he calls it from the sidelines. He goes, and when he sees the alignment of the defense, he sees where the least amount of men are lined up, and that's when St. James runs their offense.
1st and 15, ball spotted at about the 15-yard line.
And that's a good play call.
Keeper, and
if he just keeps it and runs it, he scores, but he's looking for the pass.
No gain on the play. It's going to be 2nd down and 15. Clock continues to roll. 7 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
No gain on the play. 2nd down, 15.
Jeff, that was just ugly. Legal motion right there, and that's going to back them up 5 yards.
And it's going to be offsides against McCall.
I thought it was movement on the Falcons.
So you get your 5 yards back. Much easier first down to pick up.
Yeah, no question about it. So now it's going to be, what, a 2nd and goal, 2nd and 10.
You can pick up a first down. It's going to be right at the goal line. Ryan and Robinson in the backfield. Richardson in motion. Hand off to Byron Robinson, and nothing going there.
No, that's just good defense right there by McCall and DeMarcus Hamilton on the stop. And, Jeff, the good thing about this particular drive is it's taking the bulk of the third quarter to do this, and that's very advantageous for the Falcons.
Third down and 10. Clock ticking at the 6:30 mark. And, Marty, if you don't get in, any points would be very big, but let's see. Hand off to Robinson around the right end. He's cutting, he's slipping, he's getting back to the, and he's going to be in for the touchdown.
And Jeff, he just simply created a hole right there and kind of slid through him, and that's a good run once again.
Well, he had several chances to go down. He broke a couple of tackles. It looked like he was just covered in grease. They were slipping off of him, and takes it on into the end zone for a touchdown, and what a big touchdown that is.
Yeah, Jeff, that puts him up 42 43 pending a PAT, and that's just what that is. That's good balance right there. And something the fans have got shorted on tonight is the Falcon mascot. Usually Mike DePaula dresses up as a Falcon mascot and roams around this field, and because of the inclement weather, we haven't been able to see him do his splits.
Brad McKee's
and
kick is up and good.
His act, the Falcon act.
So with 6 minutes and 17 seconds remaining in the third quarter, Falcons 43, Dragons 21.
And Jeff, that right there was an impressive drive and a drive that the Falcons needed. And I've been harping on it. It took off a lot of that clock.
And your kickoff, what you want to see here, Mark?
Well, Jeff, after some of the comments, you may be doing it by yourself next week. I may be running out of town, but I want to see a sky kick. I mean,
well, the last squib kick was successful, and look for him to probably do that again, as we've had a kickoff return for a touchdown. Of course, it was a great run, and St. Thomas has also had a kickoff return as Byron Robinson returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown.
And Jeff, does Alabama beat Auburn tomorrow to give your Tigers a chance at the SEC championship game?
That'd be a better question to ask Joey Shalacy.
Yeah, he was a cheerleader at Alabama. He knows he's deep in tradition with Bama football.
And squib kick, it looks like, and it's picked up before it goes out of bounds. Breaks one tackle, breaks another, still on his feet, knocked down at about the 36-yard line. So all in all, a nice long run, but only up to about the 36-yard line.
Yeah, and we'll take it we'll take it. Not bad field position, and looks like that squib kick to the corner is almost done the job, Jeff. And looking ahead, should the Falcons hang on, Jeff, and it's kind of early, probably got to go to Riverside next week, and that's not a fun place to go, provided they win. But I'm not going to sell St. Thomas short because they've answered every challenge.
1st and 10, ball spot at the McCall 36-yard line. Williams under center, snap straight ahead to O'Neal. And O'Neal's going to gain about 6 yards on the carry.
And you got to be impressed with O'Neal, Jeff. Just hard running, puts it head down and keeps the legs churning. He's done a nice job.
But, Marty, it appears as though there's motion on every play. They're not calling it. Maybe it's backward motion, but watch it next time. There's motion every time.
Yeah, you're right. It kind of seems like that they can kind of get that millisecond jump on the ball.
Williams the quarterback, but O'Neal the running back gets the ball most of the time. Hand to O'Neal. O'Neal drops the ball, and he's going to be sacked back there. Led by number 82, William Marshall.
And Jeff, that's good defense once again, along with Garan and big Brent Barrios. And that right there, you just said it. And that was definite motion, but it wasn't called.
So loss of about 5 on the play is going to be 3rd down and about 8.
And do you pass here? They've had some success passing.
I believe you do. Dave Williams, your quarterback in the shotgun. Also Jeremy O'Neal back. Williams back to throw. And he dumps over to his tight end. He's got some running room. Cuts back. Going to be very close. And he's going to pick up the 1st down.
That's good individual effort right there by Henry Guy, picking up the 1st down. A well-designed play. And this McCall team will not quit. And ironic, as crazy as it sounds, as many points as has been scored in this game, it's kind of been a boring game, hasn't it? I mean, it sounds funny, not really boring, but I guess you're so used to the fast pace of it. In this 3rd quarter, it's kind of in a lull right here. Maybe I'm just boring.
4 minutes and 32 seconds remaining in the 3rd quarter. Falcons leading 43-21. Ball spotted just over midfield, and McCall calls a timeout.
And we'll take time to hear from our sponsors. Tonight's game being brought to you by Payless Furniture and Appliance located on North Morrison Boulevard across from Bill Hood. Go by and see the Brooks family as they have all kind of sales. You need that Christmas recliner or sofa, go by. Payless Furniture, and also Dr. Drew and Connie Doucette, fine supporters and proud supporters of St. Thomas Aquinas football. And Jeff, it's good to know that when I was in need of an announcer and needed one, I got one of the best in you.
Oh,
I'm
me?
glad to
I
have you.
thought you were talking about Benny
about
Latina.
it. I'll rank you as one of the best in all seriousness on the FPTV staff. How much that carries, what's that mean, I don't know, but you got to be the best at something, and you're right up there.
I appreciate it. I just appreciate the opportunity to bring a good football game here. First and 10. Snap to O'Neal. O'Neal on the power sweep. He's going to be racked up, led by Dustin Reed. Also in on the tackle, number 81, Sean Denham.
That's, once again, good defense right there by the Falcons. And Jeff, I know it's your second time seeing them in person. You got to be impressed.
Yeah, seems like as the caliber of opponents go up, they step their game up a notch too. So very much impressed.
That's a good point.
And just a drop pass there. Man was wide open as Dave Williams throws a pretty nice pass.
Yeah, and you know, Dave Williams has had time tonight, Jeff. I don't think they've gotten pressure on him but one time thus far tonight, and he's been on the mark right there, just a drop pass. You know, if I'm Coach Levi Washington, I'd scratch the Notre Dame box and go to the pass because they've had success with that.
Third down and 10, and although you're at midfield, I believe you got 2 downs to pick this up, Marty.
Yeah, down by 3 scores, you got to go 3 downs.
By far the muddiest part of the field. Williams and O'Neal, and I'm not sure what we're going to call here. It looked like the center had moved the ball, and then a St. Thomas man ran up, drawn off sides. Let's see what the call is going to be. And they're going to wave the flag off, so they couldn't decide which way to go, Benny.
Neither could I.
So third down and 10, and as we mentioned, Benny, you would think this would be 4-down territory here, down by 22 points.
Well, at 22 points, and their quarterback's been on target for most of the ball games, Jeff. So you got to think he's got to be able to, start thinking about passing the ball. I mean, they've got a real effective running game all year, but at this is do or die, so they probably need to let the ball go up in the air a little more here because he's really been on target. They just missed a few and dropped a few.
Officials are trying to sort out things, trying to find out whether it's second or third down, I believe. I'm not really sure.
I think it's going to be third and 10 right here. Should be, but we'll see what he after the penalty. Yeah. And the St. Thomas diehards are getting into it a little bit. We got a few fans that came out in the cold and rain tonight.
Yeah, and we got a full press box too for those who wanted to see it. And
well, just like Roger Gill said, Marty Morgan thought he had a lot of friends, but it's really just cold and rainy outside.
Okay, so third down and 10. Williams back to pass. Looks like he's trying to set up a screen. He's got a man open, and good
nice tackle.
Open field tackle by number 29, Mike Sharp.
That was a great play. He hit him, stuck with him, held him up long enough to get a little help, and brought him down, about 4 yards short of the first down. And that, from the onside, looked like it was going to be a first down.
Yeah, it did. Look like Rollins had some room to run. If he breaks that one tackle, he's going to pick up the first down. So this can bring up 4th down. 3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Falcons leading 43-21.
I tell you what, the Falcons defense has really rose to the occasion here in the second half. They're playing hard, they're playing intense, and they're getting after it. And also, the big O'Neal's got to be tiring a little bit about now.
And as Williams back to pass, and he's going to try to dump it off. It complete, but a great tackle there by Barrios, and nowhere, and the ball's going to go over to St. Thomas.
A great play right there. You know, it looked like the receiver right there ran into a little collision with Dustin Reed. Thought maybe even pass interference might have been thrown right there, but he broke through and made a nice one-handed grab. But once again, the bend but don't break defense of the St. Thomas Falcons.
Well, and Benny, 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the third quarter. And I've been telling Marty I'd like to see St. Thomas go on a long, sustained drive and eat up some clock. But every time we do that, to give it to Byron Robinson, and he runs 60 yards for a touchdown.
There's not such a thing tonight with him with the football. I don't know how many yards he's got, but it's got to be close to 350, 400 yards on the night. And I know he's got 5 touchdowns, so he's just been eating up the ground by himself.
And you got to be real impressed with Kyle Ryan when he's running the ball.
No doubt about it, Jeff. I couldn't agree with you more. He has actually been part of the heart and soul tonight, you know, because every time they needed 2 or 3 yards, he got it.
Well, and not only that, he got the McCall coaches starting to key away from Byron Robinson just a little bit, keep them linebackers at home.
That's right, and the coach on the other side obviously has to say, you know, Coach Washington has to say, well, hey, we just can't totally key on Robinson. This guy can hurt us too. And early on, he was picking up 7, 8 yards a pop.
And there's timeout on the field. We'll take a quick break. My wife showed me. There's all kind of stuff you left. Look, Mark. Yeah, look just like that.
What's that?
My wife's here. She's got all kinds of bobby pins and stuff and making it stick up.
I know.
You look like Kelly now? Greg Louganis.
Well, back to action. Ryan straight up the middle, and he picked up a first down.
Half gamer. That Liam is like a half gamer.
And that's going to be a first down.
First down, Falcons. Clock continues to tick under the 150 mark. Butch Roussel, Robinson in motion. Hand off straight ahead to Ryan. Ryan's finding some running room. Good, hard, positive yards gain of about 8 on the carry.
And Jeff, the play calling really has been excellent tonight. I mean, no question about it. And anybody who seemingly touched the ball has success.
Ryan carrying to the 37-yard line. Like a wet pill.
So gain of about 7 on.
2nd and 3 for the Falcons.
Roussel under center. Richardson goes in motion. Hand off to Robinson. Robinson dips and darts and picks up the first down.
Good run, good effective drive right here. And just like we thought it was going to be a quick third quarter, these last 2 minutes, Jeff, have taken an hour. So they still pick up a first down, and they continue to look impressive offensively and defensively, and they've put together a whole ball game tonight and done a good job against a great team.
Yeah, they really have. And the clock ticks down to about the 45-second mark in the third quarter.
And
Pick up another first down or two, and you know you can start letting the air out of this game. Hand off straight ahead to Ryan. Ryan's going to gain about 3 on the carry.
And Jeff, the most points that McCall has allowed in a single game this year is 34. So for the Falcons to put up 43 in the third quarter is pretty impressive. And that was.
You got to think they're for real. You know, they had that ranking, and then when they lost to Sumner, kind of dropped a little bit, but that high ranking evidently very deserving.
Yeah, Jeff. I mean, there's been a lot of criticism or a lot of skeptics. I have at times, but hey, Randy Johnson's done a tremendous job. The whole team has, the coaching staff. They've answered every question, and they are a good football team, no question about it. They very disciplined. They execute about as good as you can execute, and no bones about it. They're a good football team.
No doubt about it. As you mentioned, Coach Randy Johnson, also Corey Bordelon, John Lagoria coaches the defense, defensive backs, Mike DeRoos, tight ends, wide receivers, David Ledbetter, defensive line coach. Just a great job by that staff.
Yeah, Jeff, I mean, you got to, you talk about Byron Robertson and all the rest of these guys, but somebody's got to coach them. Somebody's got to teach them. And, Randy Johnson, a guy that's been in the wars, been around probably for 50 years in coaching. I'm just exaggerating, but let's face it, the guy knows what he's doing. He's been successful everywhere he's come, and he's come to St. Thomas, and he's built a power in 4 years.
So after it's all said and done, it's going to be second down and about 7 yards. Ball spotted at the McCall 30-yard line.
And we begin the fourth quarter, Jeff, and like you say, just kind of let the air out of it and don't risk any injuries and get ready for next week. As the game seems in hand at this point. Stranger things have happened.
Oh, they certainly have, but as long as you keep it simple, well, and just when I say it, and Roussel is going to ramble, and he's going to pick up about 4 yards on the carry. And Marty, I'm not sure if that was a pass play there on that situation, and I'd love to see him keep it on the ground and run the clock myself.
Yeah, I would too, and but at some point, well, I've always said at some point they're going to have to pass, which they've got away with it this year, but it seems like if they'd hit their tight end in the wing tee, the tight end's open a lot, whether it be Marshall or Barrios.
3rd down and 3. And hand off to Robinson, as Robinson is going to be drugged down from behind. Don't see that very often.
No, Jeff, that's one of the few times that he stopped for no gain this season, and definitely this game. So now that's going to be a loss of 3, bringing up 4th and 7. And, yeah, you just go for it here.
Oh, no doubt about it. If you punt the ball, you risk a block, you risk a fumble snap. And if you kick it in the end zone, you've only gained about 7 yards. So you definitely don't want to do that.
So 4th and 6, and we'll see what Coach Johnson has up his sleeve.
Tallow to the near side as the hands off to Robinson, and Robinson trying to bust up the middle, busts it out to the outside. He's going to pick up the first down, runs out of bounds, and that's just great vision, Marty.
Yeah, he has excellent vision, and I'm glad you mentioned that, Jeff.
There is a flag on the play. It was blocked by the umbrella, but there is a flag.
You'd figure be on the offense.
And that's going to be holding against the Falcons.
And that nullifies a first down, and now you're in probably a must-pass situation. But with Robertson, giving it to him is just like a pass.
Yeah, you would think so. Now the ball's going to be spotted about the 35-yard line, but, why run anything different? The Robinson's had big gainers tonight, and I just can't see risking putting the ball up in the air. For one, you stop the clock, and 2, you risk the interception. And last night on the football games, they had Colorado State had 3 returns for touchdowns last night, so you don't want to see that. So 4th and 13, and Roussel back to pass. He does throw it, and it is going to be intercepted. And
guys were wide open,
and
Jeff.
I tell you what, the mud really stopped him on that one. There's number 6, George Edwards, intercepts the ball. But, Marty, that was the danger right there.
Yeah, and you called it, Jeff. You said it. But Tallow was wide open, and Marshall was wide open for a moment, and he just waited too long.
But you try to throw a football that's soaking full of mud, and it's basically it's throwing a shot put.
Yeah, that's another good point, Jeff. I mean, you're right. I mean, I don't think Roman Gabriel could have thrown that one.
So 10 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in the contest. Falcons leading 43-21. And McCall is going to have to do something a little different now, Marty. They're down by 3 scores. You would expect that they're going to have to start throwing the ball.
Yeah, and that's been the success of them. And, you know, we've talked about it. If there is an Achilles heel for St. Thomas, it is their pass coverage at times and their passing game. So, you know, McCall's had guys open tonight, and they've connected at times.
And there was a penalty on the play, post-possession penalty. I believe it was a clip. So we're going to back the ball back up to about the 19-yard line. Williams on the quarterback keeper straight ahead. Good play, 5 yards, but I tell you, they keep running that. That's going to run a lot of time off the clock.
Yeah, Jeff, and then they're not in any hurry. So St. Thomas will take this all day long. And it looks like McCall's having problems keeping the balls dry.
Second and 7, and a good 25 seconds has run off the clock already as the clock ticks under the 9:40 mark. Williams back to pass. Pretty good protection as he slings it out. A little throwback pass, and if he gets a block, he's still on his feet. And all that running, you get back to the line of scrimmage.
And like you say, Jeff, if he picks up a couple blocks, he's got some running room.
But I tell you, it's very hard running in this mud, and what the defense is doing, they're staying at home. They're not over pursuing. They're waiting for the runners to come back to them. Very well coached.
And Jeff, I don't know if I want you up here. You kind of making me look bad with some of your insight. Usually I'm patting myself on the back.
Williams back to pass again, throws out into the flat, incomplete.
And do you go for it?
You've got to go for it.
Yeah, you're down 3 scores, 8:54 to go in the game. Yeah, you have to.
And Michael DePaula says it's over. Okay.
Who let them dogs out? Can't beat St. Thomas at home.
So it looks like a punting formation though, Marty, but I'm going to be surprised if they punt the ball here. And they do punt it, and it's partially blocked. The ball will go forward. St. Thomas men need to get away from it. Nobody needs to touch it. And as they finally do down the ball, and Coach Johnson's not real happy about that. Neither is Coach LaGoria, but no harm there.
Well, I think after you touch the ball, Jeff, and I don't know the rule, I think you can touch it, can't you?
It's a live ball.
Okay.
Unless you go down and down the ball.
So that's a big break, and that's just an example of not giving up. I mean, guys continuously going 100%. I think Garan got in there and got the block.
So Falcons in great shape here. Ball at the McCall 35-yard line. 8 minutes and 41 seconds to go. Leading 43-21. Robinson in motion, handoff to him, and he's dancing and running. And he's going to step out of bounds at about the 20-yard line. Another first down.
That's good vision. I mean, he didn't have a hole up the middle. He squirted outside, and he's a human highlight film. I mean, he's great.
No doubt about it. And there's been some ongoing discussions if he would be doing this in the 4A, 5A level. But I'm going to tell you what, talent is talent, and I'm seeing he could play anywhere.
That's the same thing I say, Jeff. I mean, he can play anywhere, no question about it. Whether it be West Monroe or McCall, he can play there.
And Mike can play in New Orleans right now.
Yeah, they
They need a running back. The Saints. And we're going to have a penalty. Late flag coming in. Could be an unsportsmanlike conduct or something like that. We don't need this game to start getting sloppy.
And something I very rarely do. I give the referees a good old pat on the back. This has been one of the best refereeing crews I've seen this year, Jeff. I don't know what association they're out of, but they've done an excellent job.
Personal foul is going to be the call. It's going to move the ball down to about the 9-yard line. First down, Falcons, 1st and goal.
And, you know, right here, there's no other way to put it, but you get another touchdown, and they put 50. Who would have thought that?
Yeah, it'd be nice to see Kyle Ryan get one in the end zone. As Byron Robinson looks like he's going to, and he's pulled down from the back. Looked like he was hog-collared. I'm not sure what happened there.
I thought he had a clear opening, and from out of nowhere, Shadrick Henderson came and hog-collared him.
So that's going to bring up 2nd and goal from the 4-yard line. And as I was mentioning, you know, Kyle Ryan, what a good job he's done tonight. It'd be nice to see him stick one in the end zone and get his name in the stats in the paper. And we got a new player in the game, white uniform there.
Adam Nastasi.
Kyle Ryan straight ahead, and he's going to get it down to about the 2-yard line.
Like you said, Jeff, as good as Kyle Ryan has ran tonight, it'd be nice for him to get in the end zone.
3rd and goal as Falcons go no huddle. Hand off to Ryan, straight up the middle, and still on his feet, into the end zone, and that's the type of running he's done all night. He hadn't broke the long ones, but he's the one that opened up the run early in the ball game.
Yeah, he's been the ace in the hole, so to speak, Jeff. Once he got going, you know, they could no longer just concentrate on stopping Robertson on the outside. And Kyle Ryan, man, I mean, what can you say about that young man?
And that's an unsung hero, Marty, if you really want to know the truth. Doesn't get all the press that Byron Robinson does, and quite frankly, not the athlete that he is, but unselfish player, runs that play, blocks for him, and Coach Johnson uses that to his advantage. And bad snap is Tallo's going to run this into the end zone for a 2-point conversion. And that's going to bring the score to 51-21 with 7 minutes remaining in the contest.
And now, Jeff, with this big a lead, you get some of the young guys an opportunity to get in a playoff game, and that builds depth, that builds for the future, and I would hope that every young man gets an opportunity tonight with this big of a lead. So we'll see with 7 minutes to go.
You don't want to do it too early because you don't want anything to get too sloppy, too out of hand. But when it gets down to a couple minutes, let some of these guys go get dirty and let their mamas have to wash their uniforms. You know, they get out there and they work hard just like the rest of them.
Because, you know, no matter who it is, the last guy, whether it be a Byron Robertson, everybody has paid their dues. At practice, these young guys, these freshmen are working just as hard as everybody else, and they deserve a chance to play. And what this does, too, by watching good football, by watching winning teams, it gives them confidence, too, Jeff. And you know, watching the guy that's in front of them and letting them know that they can do that one day.
In the kickoff will be Jamie Planels. Planels kicks away, and a quick hit, and that ball's alive, and a good gut reaction there by number 72, Shadrick Henderson.
And Jeff, you talk about this McCall team,
and
a pretty good team. And that kind of things are getting out of hand.
Well, there's no room for that. I mean, this game is getting out of hand. It's 30-point lead, and you know, McCall's season is going to come to an end, and you don't want that. You know, they've had a great year. They're going to end up 10-2, and you don't want to end your game on anything like that.
No, you certainly don't. I don't know what happened, but certainly McCall did not like it. And you know, McCall, Jeff, they're going to end the season at 10-2, but they're an impressive team. They have nothing to hang their heads about. You know, I don't know that the conditions hampered them. Obviously, it did. I mean, they're a fine team, but you don't know.
Well, by the looks of things, overall, I think the best team has won this ball game. But it was a very big for Byron Robinson to score, you know, the opening kickoff and then score again after he touched the ball for the second time, give you a 14-point lead, and you can build on that. But little razzle-dazzle play here, reverse, and if he gets some blocking, if this big man's cleaning them out, he cuts it back the other way, and that is picture-perfect tackling there by number 85, John Guerin, and his mother and father got to be proud of him.
Oh yeah, definitely, and just continuous hustle by the Falcons. I mean, total team effort. Like you talk about team defense, this is a true example of a team defense.
And we've got a penalty flag down on the play, and we've got a personal foul against McCall again. But speaking of John Guerin, like I said, I'm friends with his parents, John and Nanette Guerin, and John's first year playing football, and he's doing just a super job.
Yeah, he has, Jeff. He's been one of the surprise for his first year. They just thought he'd be a kicker, but, I mean, he's played defensive end, and he is tough. Perfect tackling, textbook tackling, and blocked the punt earlier. Just a good job. And McCall's going to get a timeout. Their coach is livid over there. He's doesn't like something. I mean, obviously doesn't like to be on the short end of a 51-21 game, but he's mad about something, Jeff.
Well, like I said, I don't think officiating, and as you mentioned, officiating's been real good. You know, there's haven't been a lot of penalties down on the field, but you know, officiating hasn't swung this game either way. It's been the athletes, it's been Byron Robinson, it's been the game plan, it's been the scheme, it's been all of the above, and the weather, I'm sure, has played some part of it too. But as I mentioned, I believe the best team has won.
Yeah, I mean, for them to think that the officiating lost the game would be ludicrous. But they're mad about something, and I don't know what it is. I can't see other than, you know, his own team getting personal fouls, and maybe they need to take a long look and see what they've done. So we're going to take time to hear from one of our sponsors. Tonight's game being brought to you by Dr. Drew and Connie Doucette. Also, Payless Furniture and Appliances, located across from Bill Hood Ford in Hammond. Go by and see Ricky Brooks for all your furniture appliance needs. They have great sales going on and great Christmas sales. So go by and see the friendly folks at Payless Furniture and Appliance on Morrison Boulevard. And the Falcons, whether they play North Vermilion or Riverside, will be on the road next week. There's nothing you can do about it. They will have to travel, so we will be there next week. And you move on to the what is that? The semifinal round, Jeff, or the quarterfinals, I believe. I don't know, the final 8. That'll be easier.
How about the third round of the playoffs? That makes it easy for me.
Yeah, that makes it easier with all these regional by-districts, quarterfinals. You're right, the third round of the playoffs, and the competition just keeps going up and up.
Well, regardless, Marty, if you even had to travel to North Louisiana, there's a lot of teams that would trade right now as they've got their uniforms in mothballs. And the Falcons appear, now it's still got 6 minutes remaining, as they throws that one up, a little bit of a wounded duck, that they're going to advance, and a lot of teams would trade places with them right now.
Yeah, and one negative that's going to kind of cramp your lifestyle a little bit, your son, a member of this team, is going to practice on Thanksgiving.
And it appears that Big J Davis, number 64, into the ball game.
And what are you going to do about that, Jeff? Thursday, big Thanksgiving feast at the Davis house, and he's going to be practicing.
Well, I tell you what, and our tradition is after Thanksgiving dinner, and this has been for the past 8 or 9 years, the show vans all come over and we watch Christmas Vacation, and that's to start our holidays off. And we eat the big turkey, fried turkey, and all the dressing, and then we all sit down, we watch Christmas Vacation, and laugh and laugh and laugh, and that's our tradition. So,
I like that.
But I tell you what, it's you know, there again, as I said, you know, a lot of teams would trade places with you right now. They'll practice on Thanksgiving in order to be able to play on the next Friday night.
And if Jay makes a tackle here, we're going to give him the big turkey leg Thursday. I mean, he gets in here and makes a tackle, you're going to break out the turkey leg, and you're going to be like John Madden and present it to him.
Well, It's at least hope he gets muddy so the mama will have to wash his uniform. She'll be so happy.
And you got to be a proud father for him to get in there and have an opportunity to play, no question.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Very proud of the young man. He tries awful hard. Hand off to the right side, a little sweep play, and that's going to gain a first down. And I'm sorry, that's going to pick up a bunch of yards that they had lost, and that's going to bring up
2nd and about 6.
Actually, it's going to be 4th and about 6. So all this talking we've done, we've lost a little bit of the downs and everything else, and they're right there in the mud hole, so number 64 should be able to get real muddy now.
I just hope Mr. O'Neal doesn't he's going to be close to the first down.
O'Neal on the carry for the Dragons.
And Jeff, you kind of see McCall hitting out of bounds, getting a little dirty, getting mad about this game. There's no sense in that. I'm going to call a spade a spade.
No, it's not. But, emotions run strong, and it's just very tough. Your season's come to an end, everything that you've worked so hard for. Ooh, and Davis almost had a shot, and Davis is being kicked at midfield.
Yeah, that's a great effort by him. I mean, he made a heck of an effort. Just a little guy got past him. You got to like that. Good job. He was in position. So 2nd down and 9 for McCall.
But you're right. It's starting to get a few cheap shots out there, and there's no place for that. 2nd down and 9. Williams back to pass. Incomplete, so going to be 3rd down and 9.
And it's just to the point now, Jeff, where we're trying to play out the string. They're trying to play out the string, and it's just time to get out of here. Because I've seen holding and tripping and grabbing on these last plays.
So 4th down and 9. And snap to O'Neal.
And he's going to pick up the first down, I believe, Jeff, stopping the clock once again as McCall's trying to save face and put a late touchdown in here.
So 1st and 10.
Ball front at the 31-yard line. First down 10. Dragons.
So that's going to be 1st and 10 for the Dragons as we have 4 minutes and 36 seconds to go in this game. And St. Thomas has it well in hand as some of these young guys, Jeff, getting an opportunity and much needed experience.
And off to O'Neal. O'Neal still on his feet. O'Neal's going to be brought down at the 20-yard line, and that'll be enough for another first down. Into the game, number 54, Sam DiVittoria.
And then Jesse Lagarde, number 50. And I think the whole team's got to play tonight, Jeff. And that's,
coming out of the game is
that's
Clint
great.
Delvery. And I'm sorry, this is my first time to do these names, and if I mess them up, call Marty. 1st and 10, and O'Neal goes down. Also into the game, number 50, Jesse Lagarde.
So Jeff, I mean, you St. Thomas, you won your second playoff game. You getting ready for the third game. I mean, you got to feel great. You 2 wins away from the Superdome, which is the ultimate prize.
Yeah, you really do have to feel good, because if you looked in the Daily Star today and you looked at McCall's record and who they played and how bad they beat the other teams, and then coming in knowing they were a big squad, you know, your chances were somewhat suspect, but they rose to the occasion and met the challenge and done a great job tonight.
They really have, and I can't harp on how well a coaching job they do, because you see some of these second and third teamers getting in there and swarming to the ball. I mean, they just well coached. I mean, they execute and execute and execute, and that's the name of the game. In football, I mean, think about it. The Green Bay Packers in '69, what'd they run, Jeff?
The toss sweep, the student body right, student body left.
And ran it, and nobody could stop it. And that's what St. Thomas does. You know what they're running, but you can't stop it.
Williams gone all the way at quarterback. Handoff, ball's on the turf, but it looks like McCall's going to recover that one.
Well, the Falcons actually got it, but nevertheless, the Dragons will hold on to it.
4th down, and it was called about 7 yards. 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the contest. Falcons 51, Dragons 21.
And now Big J Davis, Jeff, back in the game, and we're going to see.
Flip-flopped over to the left tackle.
And Ligoria's, hey, he's running. And then when he leaves, they've run away from J Davis all night. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. Whether he's been at
the Falcons defense holds, and the ball will go over on downs, and it's just a matter of running this puppy out.
Yeah, just run a few plays and get out of here. And Jeff, your washer's going to be muddy tonight. I'm sure the school probably washes the uniform, but you got to wash the socks and put the shoes out. Make sure a dog doesn't get them tonight.
Alan Waddell will come into the game, the quarterback. As you mentioned, he had taken over the duties about the 8th and 9th game of the season. Did a fine job in his own right.
Well, he did, Jeff, and he was the passer, but, I guess they felt that, Roussel being more experienced and not figuring to pass a lot, they would start him, and he did a good job.
Number 18, Jay DeBenedetta.
And he's only a sophomore, and he runs the ball pretty well. He does a good job, DeBenedetta.
And I believe that's Jeremy DeBenedetta.
Yeah, we've had a tough time with some of these names, and you only your first time's done an excellent job tonight helping me. We got a little flustered up here because we had so many people in this press box tugging at us earlier. It's kind of hard to stay focused. So if it was one of our worst games, just...
And McCall's going to come up with this where it looked like St. Thomas had a chance to just run this one out. And
there he goes again.
But 1 minute and 2 seconds remaining in the contest. And
Ball started at the 22-yard line. First down, 10, Dragons.
And Jeff, 3 years ago when Jay was just a little slobber knocker jumping on your lap or whatever, did you ever think that he even played varsity football? And done a good job. I mean, he's really improved as a young man and as a football player, and I'm happy for you.
And you got to give a lot of credit to the coaching staff because, I talked to Coach Johnson and before, and he said that he wouldn't promise anybody that they would play, but if they stayed, they would play, and if they stayed and played, they would win. So a coach can't tell you any better than that.
You got to respect that out of a man.
New quarterback into the game, Brandon Gildery, and a few white shirts on the McCall side getting in now.
Yeah, I think every young man that's thrown on a helmet tonight has got an opportunity to play, and that's what it's about. I mean, high school sports is about togetherness, teamwork, learning, building relationships, and it's good.
Into the game, number 50, Jesse Lagarde, as Brent Blazevich comes out. So 1st and 15 with 1 minute left in the contest. One of the McCall players having a little equipment problem. And that ball's on the turf, and that's not so bad because the clock's going to continue to run. And the reason I say that, you want to get out without any further injuries or anything like that.
Well, Jeff, I've often said if there is a lead of 30 or more points with 5 minutes to go in high school, continuously run the clock. And I've
witnessed that in some of the Hammond High games this year. I saw it in the A-meet game, and I saw it when they were ahead. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, because the game's in hand, and all you do is prolong the inevitable. And there's a host of Falcons on the tackle, and
with 14 seconds remaining, this would be a good time just to end this ball game as tempers are starting to flare.
Yeah.
And that's what it's going to be. Your final score here from Strawberry Stadium: Falcons 51, Dragons 21.
And Jeff, I enjoyed having you tonight. On to the 3rd round of the playoffs. We'll be on the road next week, and it wasn't the prettiest playing conditions, but the final outcome was awful pretty, and the Falcons prevail once again.
Well, and there again, I've got to take my hats off to the coaching staff. They did a great job of preparation for this unusual offense. They ran a real fine defense, only gave up 21 points, where a team's been averaging somewhere around 35. And then, the ever-present Byron Robinson, what a great job he had tonight. The whole offensive line did a great job.